this love, all this love.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Crystal One-on-One. Thank you for joining us. We happen to be at Le Chateau, Brasserie Belge, and today I am with McKenzie.
Yeah.
How are you?
So excited to be here.
I'm so excited to have you.
It's been.
Although I feel guilty because I know you've only had a few hours sleep.
Yeah, but I mean, I always have a few hours of sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a workaholic, so I think I'm really happy to be here. I've
You're a
wanted to be
workaholic.
here. Yeah, I think I am. I love what I do. So because I love what I do, I give it almost 100%.
Mm-hmm.
So I never feel bad if I have to wake up early or anything. It's just that I love what I do.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
happy to have you here.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. It's an honor. I don't think people understand. My village people are now excited. I have finally made it. I have family members who are envious of me right now. But then again,
The boy from Nyamitanga.
yes, the boy from Nyamitanga. Nyamitanga is a special place to me. I have a lot of great people that have supported me since I was a baby. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's good to be here. I've actually never had like an interaction like this in my life before.
I don't think you have, because what I know is you share a lot of yourself
Yeah.
on social media.
Yeah.
But in terms of what is actually out there about you,
Yeah.
it's like you're like everyone's buddy.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I
normally
know.
what happens with people like that is you really actually don't know that much about them.
They probably don't even have friends.
Is that true about you? Are you like
I
a
have-
loner, or you?
If spending 3 weeks in my bedroom without talking to anyone is loner, then yes, I am. No, like I grew up.
I need to drink something. What?
I grew up a single child. Like my father died 3 months before I was born, and
Oh.
so I'm raised by this amazing woman until she's 16. Until I was 16, and she passes on. So like, she never got any other children. She never got married again or anything.
So it's just the two of you.
It's just me and her. So I think without her, I've found it very difficult to easily relate and give 100% of myself. So I always like have that reservation, and that reservation sometimes is so sweet. So you want to like depend on it. Then sometimes you like people can't resonate with that small thing about you. Then depression can, like so many things. So I sometimes like to just like, I think it's like refueling yourself, just get back into your zone and just. But I have a lot of friends. I think like I talk to so many people. I've been working in Kampala for now 13 years. So I have like so many people that I've met on the different streets. But I have like very few friends that I can say, oh, this one is going to be at my wedding, or this one is like, there are very few.
Okay,
Yeah, I'll
this
not
is
lie.
interesting.
Yeah.
Man, losing your mom so young though,
Yeah,
that must have been really rough.
it was weird.
Where were you at the time?
So my mother was just a superhero of her own sort. I don't understand. Everyone says that about their mom, but my mom shared that she had a lot of thoughts of like committing suicide with me and everything. Like she just thought it wasn't like worth it. It was that dark. And so she's just raising me in this world where, you know, people just don't understand her. I'm a light-skinned boy, super light-skinned, so like, she must have slept with some other man. Like, how can she, you know, stuff like that. But like, just these things that she used to tell me that maybe I've never really shared. But she decided to take her mother's side and take me to like the village to stay with her mother, who is my grandmother. And then my father, who was an orphan, had a priest called Father Barugahare. He's actually one of the big ones in the country, and he had like taken care of him. So there were these two grandparents that could help my mom.
Okay.
But everyone around was depending on my dad, so they couldn't really help my mom because they had nothing as well. So there was a lot of miscommunications around. It was just a dark time for me. So growing up with her was very personal. Like it was very close. Like we kind of knew each other. She wouldn't let me sleep away from her. Like I used to sleep in the same room with my mom, like until she died.
You know, I can understand that, because
Yeah.
if you have all that pressure and then
Yeah.
of course people are blaming you and you don't know
Yeah.
what's going to happen, you're extra protective of your child.
She was so protective, and because she didn't get that much help from the people that she thought she would get the help from, she worked so hard, and she got into Maryhill High School as a teacher,
Okay.
early 90s. So like I remember the first year in that job, we slept in the sick bay
Okay.
because like there were no ready quarters for us to stay in.
Wow.
So like you'd sleep in the sick bed, and during the day students come and they take over, then you go to school. So I used to play around like with sick,
With the girls in the sick
like, I
bay.
used
Those
to
are
be
your
that
friends,
joy.
right?
Like I was like this healing puppy. Like that's who I was. So
You were happy.
I was very happy. I think for her on that side, it was what was difficult. So she went through and was a literature teacher, and she was probably the very best from the time that I know. But she just lived my 16 years. I think it was just like a plan, like take him to 16 and then come and join me. I don't know. So she built this house in a place called Ruharo in Mbara. So we shifted from Nyamitanga, where she had finally built a house. Like she had bought a car and bought a house, and like we're now living. Oh, now going back to my house, we have a car. Like you can pick me up from school in that. And she gets cancer. I don't think she knew she had. No one knew she had cancer, because 2002 cancer is not really like that much of a talk in Mbara.
Yes. Even now.
I think even now. Yeah. So obviously the first thing was Bamoroga, like they've bewitched her. So I remember like they used to bring like witch doctors, and then they would like spray stuff on us and everything and protect us and give us leaves to wear. And yeah, she didn't live through that, but at least I had the time to see her on her deathbed for like 3 months, and she poured her whole life into me. Like she told me everything she wanted me to know. So by the time we died, we had closure, we had so many things. So when she died, I don't remember crying. Like I don't remember breaking down. My friends were so shocked. I was only 16, so somewhere inside me I was feeling like now I'm free. Like I can now do whatever I want. Like somewhere in there, it's weird, but yeah, I'll be honest with you. I kind of felt like now I can be me, but I had not realized that
like you can take charge completely.
Yeah, but then I had not realized that what I'd lost was what was making me be me, like in a very strong way, because my mom really shaped my life in the way she wanted it to be. Like she just wanted me to be the entertainer that I wanted to be. So when she passed on, of course my family, her mother's side is what was strongest. So I take on my mother's side, and I go and stay with an uncle of mine who is like her closest brother. And I think just unfortunately they're not really understood me.
Okay, so you were so different.
Very different. I was a very, very stubborn boy. Like I was troublesome. I don't know how I passed school actually. Like I don't know. Like I honestly don't know. Like sometimes I'm like, I'm really a genius. Like how could I have been that destructive? I mean, I did everything. I jumped the fence, like everything really, like any other 16-year-old would do. And
so that means you got in trouble, you were suspended, you were expelled, all
like,
those things?
All those things, anything that you can put in there. I was the entertainment prefect, the first entertainment prefect of London College of St. Lawrence, and I was demoted, the first prefect to be demoted. Like, I broke records in that school,
Wow.
So, I think that transition is what was really hard for me, to not be with my mom. So, I think when she passed away, it affected me in a way that as much as I was free, I was just a wild, free dog or a wild, free animal that could eat anything, be short or anything. I was just wild. And
now when you look back, do you think you were like just acting out? Because people process grief in different ways.
Yeah.
Some people actually take the time and go through the process, but many people don't.
Yeah. And
then they act out in either they withdraw or they become unruly or... Looking back?
I mean, I think I just wanted to be accepted, Like I just wanted to like...
So you were trying to be like the popular...
Yeah, like I really craved attention for a very long time. And I was so good at it. And being so good at it came with its effects, because, I mean, like in 2011, I had like 4 plaques of Best Radio Personality. I had like the entire country just, on my feet. Like I could do anything in hip hop. I could just do this and things work. And I was 139 kgs. And all this was just because I didn't care. Like I didn't care what was going on. So like if I could have my breakfast at Chicken Tonight at 4 a.m., that's it. Like,
So you
like
were
I
just
have
living.
today to live, you know, like I don't know about tomorrow. Like death has been in my life all through. So I had that fear, so I was doing and pushing so much, and I went into some serious depression. Like I was literally on my deathbed in 2013, basically, just ready to pass out, because I had this situation where I was staying alone,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden I find out that I have a child. You know, it was a bit weird. We'll talk about that. But all of a sudden I find out that I have a child, so it changes my life a lot, and I stop identifying with the McKenzie thing that I've created, like, to get this attention, because now it's more like reality, like, oh my god, like I have a child,
Yeah.
I can't be this messed up, and I'm trying to raise a kid. So that's the time when I left Hot 100, joined Radio City hoping for better. I get into a show that I don't identify with, so I get into some crazy depression. I got high blood pressure. My feet were literally like swollen, and I used to, like, all the time, like they used to squeeze my feet all the time, and I would still go on air, and like I would be amazing on air. Yeah. And so this time I got malaria because my immune system was now shut down, like, completely. And I got malaria. I was doing bad. I had no money. I had nothing. I had no one to call, because I don't know really if I can call someone to help Mackenzie. Like, I don't know who to call. Even when I think
Because
about it right now.
everyone's used to you always
Yeah,
being
like I'm good. Like,
on top of things.
yeah, I
You-
got this. Like, so I was drinking a chigaji because that's like the medicine that I thought would sort me out, the only medicine that would keep me alive. And Calvin, who's Calvin the entertainer from UBC,
Yeah.
it was my neighbor. So he came over and he saw me and was like, dude, you're really messed up. Like, you need to go and get yourself checked. I'm like, I'm good, man, Calvin. Like, I don't want to stress you and everything. So he comes to shake my hand, and I was hot like coal. Like, I was super hot. My
And you were
temperature.
home
Yes, I was
by
home in my
yourself?
bedroom. Yeah, like. So he goes and he calls my askari. They call the nurse, like, in the next. You know these clinics that are like around.
in our neighborhoods.
Yeah, so like they call a nurse, and she was really nice. They came and they couldn't carry me because I was big, so they first treated me from there to cool down, then carried me completely, put me in the car, and I spent, like, I think 2 nights in that dungeon of a clinic, but it was the lifesaver for me. And then some uncle of mine came, and he told me, I don't want to see you die, so please go to this clinic, go to this center service. So he gives me like a card. I go, I get proper treatment. And then Calvin's girlfriend at the time, called Amanda, was the nutritionist, and she tells me, you know, we can talk, like, we can work this out.
Yeah.
So it was really a strong shift for me, because I didn't want to stay alive as much as I wanted to stay alive. You know that, like, I don't know how to
Did you
explain.
feel like there
I feel like I'm
wasn't
done.
enough
Yeah,
to
like I'm
keep you-
done. Like, what am I? I mean, I've won everything. Like, I'm the best radio presenter in the country according to me. I've done music. I have an album. I've had girlfriends. I have everything. I have a child. Like, I can go and I leave him just like me. They left me, like, you know, so he can get his own things together. It was just a really katogo of a lot of thoughts. Like, it was so overwhelming for me, and I'm really glad that I survived that, because I don't think I would have gone through that if it wasn't for, like, Calvin or anything. Yeah, so that's when I think the break point came in for me and my mom breaking away. Like, I got a lot of suicidal thoughts. I was smoking a lot of weed. Like, I think I smoked so much marijuana at some point I was weed itself, like, literally. And I don't think anyone has ever really thought about that about me, you know, like, because they see this nice
That's the
smiley
thing, you
guy
see?
and everything, but, like, I'm super dark. Like, I've grown up in a dark world, Crystal.
So you were saying that, you know, you were in such a dark place and you were going through all these different emotions,
Yeah.
and you've never really known happiness for a long time.
Yeah.
You said more than a year?
I don't think I've ever had like that. I've been in happy relationships, I think, which are like those 4 months, like yeah.
Well, most relationships in the beginning are like,
Yeah,
yeah.
because like you have all this infatuation, you think like it's gonna work out, like it's gonna be forever, because I was used to forever. Like you never have like a mom and think she's gonna pass away, like you never want to think about that. So I think I've tried to replace her, like I tried and I tried and I tried to replace
Ooh,
her.
that's a problem.
So
Because whoever you date will be their own
yeah,
person. They'll never be your
yeah.
mom.
So like I think I tried that for a very long time with subconsciously. Like I didn't know that I was even doing it. I just would meet people, and if they resonated with me in a way, I felt like they should take care of me. Sometimes, like my first girlfriend, like I cohabited with my first girlfriend.
Eh?
Yeah, when I was like 21.
Seems to be the story of the day.
Yeah, like I think I'm one of the stories that should be out there, because it's normal like people to do this now, at campus. So, but it was more like I couldn't be without her. So I was this jealous guy, that kind of person. So I started staying with her, and I think I took a lot of her happiness away. Like, however much she felt like I was so into her, like completely, it was more like, this is my thing, like this is my person. So like I can go do me, but this is my person. Hey, who are you talking to? Like, cause like I want you to be mine. Like I just want you to stay there.
Wow, I'm
So-
glad you have
so-
the understanding of what
Yeah.
you were doing,
I
because a
mean-
lot of guys still do that, and they're like,
It's as
Unhealthy.
much as you blame them or put it like subconsciously, it happens to so many people. Even some girls, like they do it to men. Like it's really out there. And for me, I had to like do a lot of self-awareness to understand why I was doing these things. So like getting closure with her and telling her I'm so sorry for what I did to you and everything, and she tells me what I did, and I'm like, can't believe I did that. And so I'm obviously a better person today. I understand much better. I'm not a kid as much, but when I was a kid, I felt like I had the world in my hands.
okay.
And so that kind of drew me to different things, and I was very destructive with my relationships. I got into relationships that I think were not my kind of thing. Some of them were just because the girl is popping, she's like, so I want to be in that realm of people. And yet I've never really been like a promiscuous person. I've never been the kind of person to take advantage of women. Honestly, like, I know so many people don't believe it because the papers have said a lot of shit about me and everything. But I've been really, really private to myself. Like, I've been that guy who has like one girlfriend for like 3 years, and even when it's like a terrible relationship, I stay there, like, in that thing. So I was very destructive in such moments. I met people who were destructive to me and I didn't know, things like that. So
It sounds like you've been on a very intense journey of self-awareness, because
Yeah.
that's a lot of personal growth.
yeah.
What
I
I'm
mean-
hearing from you.
I mean, when you don't have really anyone to focus on or anyone to even help sometimes, and yet you're the center of everything that should be happening around you and everything. So I really have taken my darkness into like a place that I can play in.
Okay.
So like I've had to understand how to play with my demons, because those will never go away. So as much
example.
as so like I'm a very, very sensitive man.
Okay.
Like I'm one of those very sensitive men, very emotional people. And so sometimes it can be very destructive if you don't control such a situation. So the idea is to understand that I'm actually sensitive and emotional so that I can control some of that. So like I consider those my demons. Like I consider them like my angels or whatever it is really, that by just to be able to play around with my energies and understand what they do for me and what they don't do for me is what has taken me, I think, it has made me a better father, it has made me a better partner, like it has made me a better business person, because I really don't focus on anyone else. I really focus on the fact that I'm in control of only me. Like it's all I can control. Even if I have a child, I can't fully put a bottle on that. Like I can only control myself, and they can see through me for them to be themselves. So with that, my friends are better now. Like my woman appreciates me a lot more because she knows that I have my own standpoint, and things like that. So
Wow.
yeah.
You did say earlier on that, your mom kind of let you be you and make your own decisions
Yeah.
and follow through with entertainment. So I'm
Yeah.
guessing you were that child, like
Yeah.
from way back you were involved.
I mean, I remember the farthest memory of me entertaining someone was in the village, in a village called Boma. Buanga. And this
Buanga.
is like, I think 93, because like there's a video of it somewhere. I don't know, but there's a VHS, I'm sure, somewhere with that video. And I was dancing and I was being given money, Like, you remember that those 5 shilling notes and stuff like that, and I was being given money, and I remember dancing Lingala so passionately, like I had such an attachment to it, and I was being given money, so I've always felt like I should be the guy in the family to organize the entertainment. When there's Christmas, I'm the one next to the radio. I'm the guy who like comes back from school. I'm like, Mom, I have a new dance move, so I dance for her. I was the kind of person that in school, whenever they said, "Oh, so we need a composition," I'll be like the first guy to say, "Now, me, I know the people. We're going to do this. We're going to do this." So, in school, I had a dance crew. I was in a lot of trouble for doing that. Like, we used to even run away and go to watch Obsessions and Exclusive, those guys, and we come back and we design our own clothing. And then, like, I was always.
What was the name of your dance crew?
We're called Western Face.
Western Face.
Yeah, like we're trying to be like NSYNC, then Westlife, so Western Face. So it was, yeah, and then I became born again.
Okay.
Like, my story is just ridiculous. So I became born again, then we changed to
What
Exodus.
happened?
We're called
Did
Exodus.
something happen at that point?
Man.
Or was it all of
No.
you as a group? Or?
I think, yeah, it was that thing, like, when Jesus just hits it, he really hits. So I think for me, it was more like, it was this peer pressure thing that I had. And there was a friend of mine called Gordon, who just came and told us, you guys, like, you're worshiping the devil, like, so they put for us all the details. Like, if you listen to Eminem, he has said this one, then, and back in the day, Roger Mugisha released the tape, let me tell you. Roger Mugisha released the tape telling us about devil worshippers. I said, I cannot be an entertainer like this. If Shadow has quit, who am I to stay? So, this is 2003. So I become born again, and that just didn't work for me. Like, I don't know.
Maybe in its form at the time.
No, let me explain. So, it's actually how I got into radio.
Okay.
Because when I became born again in the school, instantly I became a very popular person. The principal, Papa, the late Lawrence Mochibi, was very fond of me. Like, he used to respect me a lot. And so because of that, he made this entire schools and colleges respect what I was about.
Okay.
So I had this leverage to probably like go out of school on Monday or Saturdays and stuff like that. Yeah, I had my boo. St. Lawrence has those things, you have powers, like you have those powers. And so there was this teacher called Madame Maria who was like my mentor. She's like the most deep Christian I've ever met in my life. Like, she's so passionate. And she was almost like, I felt like she was my mom, like I felt like she was that person. And she tells me, Brian, we need to go and talk about these things, masturbation, what. We go on radio, you guys tell us the things, because we are the guys in school who are passionate. Guys, don't do this, don't do that. So we go to this radio station called Spirit FM, and there's this Pastor Cater, Brother Cater now, Pastor Cater, and he had a show called Life Ticket.
Okay.
So I go there on a Saturday, it was in Mukono, and Madame Maria had paid for our transport, our food and everything. We get there and I speak through the microphone, and I listen to myself. And I said, wait.
So you had headphones on?
Yeah,
and you were like,
I was like, wait. I like this. Because I've watched like Mitch do it, Alex Ndaula do it, watched Krista do it. I've watched like so many great radio presenters that I used to have in my room on like a radio here every morning, like every evening, like you're listening in. And now I'm the one, like I can hear it here. You guys are joking. And that was it. I mean, from that day I told her I'm going to be going there every Saturday. And I started becoming a radio presenter in my S6.
oh, okay.
Yeah. Like this, immediately went to a Power FM, go to Power FM, They put me in the Stedman research, you know, guys who go on the street and ask for questions, who's listening to us? And I was like, I don't want this. Come back, they give me 5K. I'm like, you guys, I've been like walking like to Nateta and I'm back and you give me 5K. Couldn't believe. They told me sit back, and I used to sit in the lobby at the Watoto offices, like just sit there, and I was just really broken. Like I wanted to be on air, like I knew I would do it, but they just didn't see that. Like no one can see
that in you.
Yeah, and so I met my gospel friends from Top TV. There was a lady called Olivia Ziwa. She works I think on NBS still. And she tells me, come to Top TV, we can see if we can do Top Teens together. I'm like,
Okay.
yeah. I got there, I'd never been on TV, so I got there, and the pastor tells me, you are good. I think you're good, stick around, we're gonna get you something to do. So I stick around, and I used to walk from right here in Zambia, from my uncle's house. I used to walk from Zambia to Kampala FM, which is in Bwaise at Christian Life Church. And I used to walk, and I did it for 5 or so months, every day, without a job, just hoping I'll be told, go on air. So in that moment, I saw people editing, I saw presenters acting out, I saw things were going on, and there was a station called Kampala FM that had been off air. So they bring it back on air and they tell me, go and try. I go there, I know, I've been presenting on radio and everything. I reached there, I speak. I was terrible, like I was completely terrible. The guy tells me, this is not your thing, you can't do this. I think you need to stick on TV. I don't think radio is your thing. You should just stick away from it.
Wow.
I told him, just give me only a talk show, just a talk show. At least let me talk. And he said, fine. So he gave me a show called Focus. It was a school-driven kind of talk show. So I used to get schools, Kayaza, Namagunga. They were so amazed at how this young kid in vacation is able to pull off this in a station that was even closed. So they gave me the morning show, and then one thing led to another. At the age of 19, I became PD of the station. Then one day, and the reason that's why I left is because I felt like Christians were not helping me, because I was not paid for a very long time. And there was this one morning.
So you weren't being paid?
No.
What?
I got paid for like only 6 months of my stay there.
So
and I worked there for like 1.5 years.
Were you getting at least like an allowance of some sort?
I mean, we used to, like this guy, Alan Sekamate. No, not Alan Seka. I think, yeah, the MP. He used to work at Top Radio. And me and him, I remember we used to sit, like there was some sort of like a place where we used to have lunch from. It was called the beach because it had like stagnant water right in front there. And we'd eat from here, and you eat your rice and stuff like that. And that was the only thing that I used to really go there for, because I could eat. But at the time I was also going to campus, so it was a bit closer. We were staying around Nakulabe, so I would walk easily to Bwaise compared to Zambia. So this one morning, I was doing the morning show, and I had to go on and preach. I had, like, the next day I had to preach, make testimonies and stuff. But I had a morning show to do first and then go for that. So I dressed up nice, you know, put on my favorite shoes, my favorite shirts and everything, and walk very early in the morning around 5 a.m. I used to walk 5 a.m. I get there by 5:45. So around 5:30, I reached, like, you know that poster of MBI is sloping down there? So I just reached there, and this border comes and parks right next to me. There's like a small guy, like very small, short. Then behind is like a big guy. So like a short guy is like, wait, police here, why is you are? I was like, now at that time I don't know Uganda, like I don't know anything. So I started telling them, I think you should go in front there. As I was doing that, the guy in the back grabs me by my neck and squeezes so hard. It's the last thing I remember. Actually, the last thing I remember is him punching me with his left arm, like right here, and I just passed out. So they robbed my shoes, like I remember my feet in the air. My feet in the air, because this guy was so big, I was hanging onto his chest, like literally. So they take my shoes, they take my trousers and everything, my shirt and all that stuff, my phone, and they leave me there in a vest and boxers, like literally. So I
Like
get
on
up.
the side of the road?
Yeah, at MBI there. So I wake up like from unconsciousness for like after like maybe 2 minutes. And people are surrounding me, asking me, "Gwe bakubieko border, chichi, olivichi," like and all that stuff. So I get up, I'm so confused. I think maybe I was drunk, maybe what happened? Like I was not so sure, so I start walking down to the station. I go to the station, go on air, and I'm like, it's a good day the good Lord has made for us.
You went on air.
Yeah, and I did the show for 3 hours until the PD came in and told me, you're bleeding, you need to get out. You need to, like my feet were bleeding because I'd walked on those weird places, like I had only socks. So, and I thought they would like report to the police.
Would do something.
You know, like maybe offer me like a towel, like something like that. But there was this guy who came and he gave me trousers, so very huge trousers, like, and then my
The things
feet,
that you remember, the
yeah,
details.
like they were so huge. I remember they were so big that I couldn't see my feet. That's how weird it was. But at least I was dressed up and everything, so I stayed there till like about 7 p.m. Then, because I couldn't walk during the day like that, so I waited for 7 p.m. I went, I got my taxi of 200 shillings, and I go back to hostel, and I was like, I'll never go back to that station ever again. And I never went back to that station. I never bothered to talk to anyone in that station ever again because I
I
felt
don't
like
think they were even
I
surprised,
felt
were
like
they?
were so evil. Like, why would you do such a thing to like?
So they didn't even bother to say, okay, let's make sure
Nothing.
we take you to a clinic, we have
Nothing.
you checked out.
Nothing. I had like, I don't know. I had like a headache for like 2 weeks, like, because
Yeah.
not even out of pain, but stress. Like I couldn't understand, and I really loved radio. I loved what I was doing, but then it was not worth it. I felt like I could die now. Like,
Yeah.
so many things were wrong.
That was traumatic.
Yeah, so that's how I
So that's
left
how you
the
left
Christian side, and since then I'm friends with them. But I have my own beliefs now, so yeah.
them. So what did you do at university?
Tourism. My uncle
Tourism.
forced me to do tourism. I can't even like hide that. He
Your
told
uncle
me.
forced you.
Yeah, he
Have you
told
ever had a
me,
conversation about this since?
like, I don't think my uncle has ever. Maybe yeah, he gave me a blessing to go on and do stuff, but he told me, if you do tourism at Makerere, you have more value than doing mass comm at UCU. This
Okay.
is 2005, so I'm thinking maybe the mentality was right, according to him. Me, I wanted to do radio. He thought I can get a good job in an office,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
which is nice. You know, parental love is good, but it just didn't work for me.
Yeah.
After 2 years, I was like, adios.
Okay.
And that caused a very strong drift in my family. Till today, it's not the same, because however much I do, I still feel like I disappointed them in a way, education-wise. I've never loved education. I've never loved being in class. I've never loved writing books. I've never loved like into all those. I've always just loved learning. I've just never learned the idea of forcing me to learn something and tell me if you don't get it, you're not good enough. I've never understood that realm since I was a baby. Like, I keep telling my friends, like, I really love my son's school because like he's so good at school, but I'm sure it's from the mom completely. It has nothing to do with me. Like, I have no pinch of education in me. And
You'd be surprised.
I mean,
It's just a different kind.
I think it's just that I was so intrigued with being the kid that grew up in a village, kid that grew up with a free life. And every time I felt contained, it just didn't seem right.
Yeah.
So I think at that time, there's no mommy for me to look up to and say, I'm sorry. There's no one to just say it. So I disrespected my guardians at the time, but for my own good.
Yeah.
And it worked out for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you said you went to Hot 100 after that?
Yeah, so...
How long were you at Hot 100?
No, so before I actually joined Hot 100, there was this MTV VJ Search. I don't know if you
Yes,
remember that, where
yes.
Carol became like everything. So I got there. Lysandra Chen, like she told me, oh, you're good, because I was among the first auditions. Like, oh, you're good. She put, please put him on next. And I really saw her writing that. I was so amazed by that. So the next round, Kazora, it's the guy. Kazora told me, nope. He told me, swipe left, like, please, you're on the side, like, you're not going to move anywhere. But then there was another team that put us together, so like me, Flavia, MC Katz, Esco, what, all these people were like in one bunch, were like top 40 or something.
Yeah.
But then they didn't want anyone who had ever been on media before, anyone on TV before, so all of us were like trashed on the side.
Okay.
But I met so many of them, and the first person I met was Rachel K.
Uh-huh.
And Rachel K was so nice to me. I didn't even know, like, she would be nice to me. I liked her music, but like, she was so good to me, and I was like, a celeb chick is nice to me like this. Like, I need to find out more. Like, and so became friends. Yeah, and I swear to God, Colin Mutambo gave me the best playground to be a boy. Like, he was like the best big brother I've ever had in my life. Because he told me, just be you. And I don't think I've ever been my best in the sense of entertainment like I was at Hot 100. Maybe I've done it differently, but at that time, it was like full on. And I became super popular among so many people that give me deals till today.
Yeah.
So it was a good thing for me to join Hot.
Okay. But
Yeah.
you said there was that break and you decided to make a change in your lifestyle.
Yeah.
And that's when you moved to Radio City.
Yeah, so in 2011, I found out that I had a child.
Yeah.
My child was already 2 years old. The situation between me and the
Found
mom.
out when
Yeah.
he was 2.
Yeah, like, okay, 1.5 years. It's a very private story for our family, but this is Crystal, like, so I can talk to you about it. And I think my baby mama would be understanding. It was a very difficult time for a 22-year-old and a 21-year-old to have a child. And there was just so much of miscommunication between us that it just did not favor her, didn't favor me, didn't favor the kid. So I came in and I was like, when I found out he was mine, I was like, I'm taking full responsibility of this, because I would never imagine a 25-year-old kid coming and telling me, yo, Dad, like, where were you my entire time? So I took that on full blown, and as much as it was very controversial, to me it was like the best thing that ever happened to me, because it opened my mindset to understanding life itself, understanding that you're not just living for yourself. Like, yes, you have your own thing, but there's more to this than just your being selfish and doing your own things. And around that time, that's when I realized Hot 100, as much as it was really nice, I don't think the management, financial management, was doing well. So we're not getting right pay, and radio, like,
Yeah.
it was very frustrating, and I was very popular at the time, so I felt also like I can move and I do my own thing. And I was being Jam Agenda at the time, so I felt like Jam Agenda could at least feed me for some time. So I left radio, not because I wanted to go to another radio station, but I just left radio. I said, let me first take a break. And in that break, Radio City comes in, and they're like, yo, you could come. And then just like that, I start Radio City. So that was the transitioning.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, between me and Hot 100 and Radio City. My son is in between there. Like, it makes sense for me to have joined Radio City, because I grew up, I became a man. Like, I went through my depression, but I went through it with expression, and I think I became much better because of my son. Yeah.
When you say you took your son on, so
Yeah.
he was living with you 100%. So you
Yeah.
were a single father.
Yeah, so my baby mama is like a very, very, very passionate person about the stuff that she does. Like, she's super passionate, and sometimes it's really more about her, sometimes. And as a young person, she made a lot of great decisions. First of all, to keep the boy healthy, it was really great. But because she was not able to give him what she felt was right, it depressed her in a way. It put her in different modes. So it kind of affects the child. So I came in that moment when, like, kid needed help, she needed help, like, we all needed to be around for each other. I had to learn how to be a dad when he was already grown, so it taught me a lot. But it reached a point where I think she went through a lot of stuff. Like, she can maybe explain her story someday. She went through a lot of things, and 2 years ago, no, in 2016, my son went to Nairobi to stay with her mother from that other side, and it traumatized me, because I had gotten this attachment. So he was away for 2 years. The people who know what I went through are willing to, like, kill for me or, like, fight for me. But then, because of this maturity thing that I've been going through, I decided to keep it more about the kid. Like, what does the kid want? So if he's in Kenya and he likes it, why not? But then he came back in December last year, and he just told me, Daddy, please don't let me go. I want to stay here with you. And yeah, so we've been together now now for a year.
So he's back with you.
He's back with me now. And me and the mom are like now super cool. Like we are good because we have grown. You know, we've gone through a lot of BS. Like we have abused each other. We have like if there was a chance that she had a gun and I had a gun, all of us would be good. You know, so I mean, we're both Gemini. We're both born in June. Like it's just my son is like a concoction of crazy stuff. Like I don't know. People need to be careful. My son is going to be, I don't know. Like I sometimes pray for people in my son's generation because he's a mixture of two crazy people that are wild that have never tried to conform. And so that's what I'm giving him now. Don't conform. Just make sure you are morally upright. Do your school well. Just don't conform. If you don't want to play this video game, don't play it. You know, if you don't want to do this subject, tell me. Don't do it. Like, you know, so he's more of an expression of what I wanted to be now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You mentioned the time when you were going through your depression and then you were overweight. A lot of people don't talk about how being really quite overweight has a lot to do with where you are emotionally.
Yeah.
Do you feel that you put on weight at that time?
Yeah.
Also because you kind of said you just didn't care.
Yeah, I mean, I don't eat a lot. That's one of the things that I don't understand about me. Like, I don't eat a lot. Like, it's not like I eat all the time. It's just that I eat terribly.
So at that time you were eating terribly?
Yeah, and like at that time it was bad. Like I had a friend called Kahuna, if you know who Kahuna is.
Yes, yeah.
And me and Kahuna, like, if I was with Kahuna now, would be sharing a beer. Like, that's us. You know, so we used to hang out Monday to Monday. And the only time of sleep was between, let's say, 10 a.m. to like 3 p.m.
Yeah. Oh, lifestyle choices. Okay.
Yes, that was the time to sleep. The other times was just turn up. So at 3 p.m., Casablanca, all the way till 5 a.m. And then at 5 a.m., go home, take a shower, go straight on air, and then kill it. And everyone is loving it. And then go home, buy a Rolex, sleep. And last year, like, there was this situation where Urban TV, like, put billboards of me and didn't like every corner.
Everywhere.
And I was so unhappy on air. So unhappy. I used to hate every moment of being on air. I love hanging with Didan. Like, if anyone can tell you, me and Didan are like peas and pie. Like, we're just close, like super close. But we hated our experience together. Like, not that we hated Urban TV, it's just that everything we really thought of a morning show is not what we were doing.
So you weren't doing what you wanted to
And
do.
yet we had a contract. And they were not paying bad money. And for me, it was frustrating me. There's these people who are in these positions in office who think you're a radio presenter, you're a TV presenter, you have to do that. Like, you can't have a say, a creative say, and you know, people like that. And it was just so annoying. Even when I think about it right now, I feel really bad about that. So I quit November 30th last year. And when I quit that day, is the day I traveled to Nairobi. And I was like, I want my son. Like, I want to talk to my son, I want to be with my son. And when I talked to him and I talked to them, and then they said he was going to come back, like the mom was going to bring him back, I was like, now I need to prepare. Like, I'm doing a silent disco every week. I'm doing an event somewhere. I'm on radio. I'm on this. Is Radio City the place that I want to sit in every day? Or would I rather just sit at home and talk to a friend? Am I speaking on air because I want to be a radio presenter, or I love doing radio presenting? Like, I had to question myself so many of those things, because now with my son, I had to be fully me, 100% me, because I was never going to teach him anything. I was going to show him how to be through me. So if I'm faking anything, let it be a job, let it be a relationship, let it be a friendship, let it be anything, it will not work for him. It won't, because he will pick that up on his own. So he rather picks up something so real to me, and he finds a way of making it for himself.
Dude, that's intense.
Yeah.
That's intense. The
Like,
people who live all their lives faking it.
Yeah, no, I can't fake it. Right now, honestly, when I quit, it was like I felt like I had a superpower. And I remember telling you this, like I felt like there was a superpower in me to say, I'm done with radio for now. Like, let me take some time off. I can be able to create my own lane in my due time. You don't have to be on your timing. You're my fan. I appreciate that you are my fan. I really, really appreciate that you're my fan. But I am something. You're a fan of what I have done. I can do more. It might not be something you will appreciate, but because you're my fan, I'm trying to do so many things to please you. I'm so sorry. Appreciate me. Love me for who I am, even when I take a different route, even when I'm down, even when I'm up. Like, appreciate me for who I am, because what I do is more than just radio presenting. It's art. There's a thing about putting on the microphone and you speak, and your voice and the bed is making sense to you. And someone who's listening has no option but to just vibe with it. Like, the reason that's why I loved your music so much, loved your radio presenting so much, is because every moment that I listen to Crystal, I would smile. I don't care. And I'm sure everyone that you meet in town will tell you the same thing. When I was on air, you had no reason to be sad. Why? I'm there. I'm literally breaking myself for you. So it's art to me for you to even say that you need to be the guy. So I put this thing of I'm the radio guy. So take that, enjoy that. But it's just for a moment. I can always change to something else. So that's how I managed to get my decision of leaving radio. I'm very sure one day, when I start my own proper thing, people will understand why I left mainstream radio. But it was the depression that made me become strong. It was the dark times that made me understand myself. It was me being broken that I realized I had different pieces in me. It was so much to do with my deepness that I am. I'm a sensitive person, I'm emotional. I need to be in the right direction of my own self-beliefs and my own self-drive. And that has kept me alive, because I would have just kaput long ago right now. So yeah, I'm just rebellious, and I love that.
But also you accepted, sometimes you find yourself living for other people rather than living for yourself.
Everyone knows me for being, oh, you need help, I'll do this. Oh, you need this, I'll be there. Oh, I'm so sorry, but okay, let me see tomorrow. Like, I'm always that guy. I've never said no. Yeah, like it's still hard for me to say no, even when I don't want. Like, I just say no. Like, it's so hard. So now I'm thinking, even I don't want to say no to you, so I'm not going to give you time. Like, I would say yes to everything because I am in so much connection with you. Like, whatever you say, I'll say yes. But if I feel a bad vibe around you, I'm not connecting with you. It's not because I don't like you, but it's just that I can't say no to you.
Yeah.
So
that's how you're learning. So because you can't say no, you just kind of...
Yeah, like we'll talk one day when I figure this out. But for now, like, no. Let me say no for now, like from now. And that's made my relationships very strong. Like, people have boundaries with me now. You just don't, you know. It's just, I think it's growing up. I think it's just me being Brian all over again.
Yeah, understanding yourself better.
Yeah.
You mentioned you're a lady earlier on. I think you said my lady or my woman. My woman is enjoying me more now. I'm a better man.
Yeah.
How long have you been in a relationship?
It's not yet a year.
Okay.
So it's not like that long, but it's the best way I can say is stupid deep.
Stupid deep?
Stupid deep.
Okay.
Because there is meeting someone because you like what they are and what they do for you and everything. And there's meeting someone and you just see them for them. Like, you know you can't change them. If they decided to chop off their eyebrows, you have no option but to stay with them because you like them beyond that. I've always found a big problem with relationships because a lot of people that I've met in my life relate to me with their bodies. So like, a relationship to me can never be fully trusted if it's about the bodies, because my body has so many different needs. Like, if my body likes your body right now, next week, man, like there might be some other chickadee that makes me feel some type of way. But if it's really about like my soul connecting with your soul, there's always a different thing to it. I can't explain it. I feel people should experience it to understand it. But for me, I'm glad that I've experienced it in my life as I'm still alive, to understand that I can meet someone who doesn't want to change me, doesn't want to control me, doesn't see me to be different or see me to be the same or see me to be similar to anything, but just wants me to be me. Like, be you. If you want to quit this, quit it. If you want to do this, do it. I'll be there. And like the same thing is what I felt for her. And so we have really grown with each other. There's so much that she does that makes me feel like only her would make me understand it like that. And so she's a friend, she's a companion, a life partner, like she's just there for me. So people like that, for me, 100%. I can't say no, you know, things like that. But of course, at the end of the day, we're still learning how to be with each other.
Yeah.
Like, we're still taking step by step. But I'm really, really happy with her. Like, at least she makes me realize what being a true man is. Being yourself. Whether you're the most sensitive person, you're the most emotional guy. You know, I'm friends with like girls, like all through, but she's so comfortable with that because she knows that's who I am. Like, it's not like I'm, you know, so it's just a good feeling that I have right now. I think that's all I can say.
You're in love.
I'm in freaking love. Like, it's stupid deep. It's not even funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one little bit of advice you gave earlier, which you were given, I think, to
Yeah.
anyone else who wants to do radio, is just be you. I think that is so powerful.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll never be consistent.
True.
But any other advice to people who want to get into media? Because you've been here, been there.
Yeah.
I mean, events now.
Yeah. I think it's really like two quotes I can say. I think one of them is progress over pride. I think it's important to think that, to know and understand that progress is very important, and pride can break it, you know, if you don't like control that. I think we also should understand, like, trusting the process is very important. Understanding you're broken is important. Understanding you're strong is important. Just trust in the process that it will get there. I never, ever, ever in my life believed that I would be sitting here with Crystal Newman. I never. But because I've trusted my stupid decisions, here I am. You know. So just trust the process, be yourself. Don't conform. I think that's the thing. Just don't conform to anything. Even Jesus says it, if that's who you believe in, don't conform. Like, just be you. If you are an individual on your own, somewhere out there, someone connects with you. Whoever you are, as broken as you are, as strong as you are, whatever it is, someone out there connects with you. And that is the most important thing about radio. It's not about the ads, not about the status, it's not about
the accent.
ratings and the accent and just, you know, like being like, you know, it's just be the best of you, and I will love the, give me a chance to love the real you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Welcome.
And blessings.
Nice.